All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Onyx Talks. Thank you, Brian. All right, so I'm going to welcome back up to the stage the famous, the infamous D. Archer. You guys could give D. Archer a better welcome than that.
Can you?
There we go. D, please sit.
Thank you, I will.
I will. All right, D. We've known each other for a long ass time, like a very long time.
This is getting real. This is getting real right now.
I didn't know that this table was so low. It's like, how am I supposed to sit all proper?
This chair's really high. You want to switch chairs?
No.
Okay.
I don't like you that much.
I'm just trying to, hold on, I'm wearing a potato sack dress too, right? So everything's all bunched up.
It's like, now I feel bad, so it's like, do you actually want to switch chairs, or are you okay?
No, I'm good.
All right, cool.
If we might have to do it like halfway through. We'll do like a musical chairs thing.
I like it.
It'll be like a intermission, fun moment.
All right, D. So, what do you start first, like singing or playing piano, or was it a combination of both, or?
My mother likes to say I came out of her womb singing. I was like, no, I'm kidding. No, I actually started tinkering around on the piano first.
Okay.
Yeah. So I started getting pretty serious with the piano probably between age 5, 6. And then I actually couldn't sing. I had the raspiest voice. And my 2 older brothers, they said whenever their girlfriends or people would call the house, they'd say, "We left a message with your little brother." And they're like, "What?" And my voice was just so raspy. And so my parents would actually just politely be like, "Stop." So I didn't start singing until a lot later. Yeah.
Was your raspiness, does that come from your background as like a Jamaican growing up with that, where everyone's like, or is that like different, or is that you just had a raspy voice when you came out and you just started playing piano? Like,
well, no, you know what? I think my raspy voice came from the mere fact that I was the youngest and the only girl, and I really needed to be heard. So
I get that, being the youngest.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
gotta fight. You gotta fight for everything. It's like, you want some of that juice, you gotta fight.
Fight.
Yeah, you want dessert? Yeah, you gotta fight for it. I like it. So then, obviously, you trained with singing, and like you started taking lessons,
Yeah. So I started taking piano lessons first.
Okay.
Took Royal Conservatory of Music.
Okay.
I was trying to dig up some really embarrassing pictures to show you of me at my like adjudications and my like church cathedral.
Oh, I got a lot of those.
Yeah, exactly. Like, when you're young and you're on like the big church piano and you're playing your,
Did you sit on books too to like get all the way up?
Yeah, when I was younger, I had a couple books.
You're just like, I can't wait so I can reach those pedals.
Yeah, so I did that. I continued through that until I was about 19 years old, but I started singing lessons probably, I'd say about 13 years of age, and I passed through a couple of teachers, but stuck with one particular teacher that would call me when I actually went into university. His name is Bilay Badoe, and he would call me and go, "Are you talking? Stop talking," because he would always want me to conserve my voice. I was doing a lot of musicals at the time and everything. So he'd call me and I'd answer the phone. He's like, "You said hello. I told you to stop talking."
I like that you said that, like, you finally found a teacher and you stuck with it. Like, both of us know a lot of music teachers in Guelph, which is where we are, Guelph, Ontario, props. So it's like, I find it interesting, like, you've taught lessons, I've taught lessons, where it's like, when you find somebody that and you want to stick with it, it's almost like lessons they don't only like advance you, but they also like, I always said, like, Adrian Rasso said, lessons are half music, half therapy, right? So
100%.
Yeah. So to be able to bring out your artistic self, it's like you need somebody who actually like connects with you and stuff like that. So is that what you found in your teacher?
Yeah, and he really pushed me to the limits too, which it's great, like, because I come from a gospel background as well, and he's the one that really encouraged me to actually get into some musicals and kind of tied those interests together, and then just really just went through a lot of intense training to like expand my vocal range. So I was really thankful for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So as you said, like, if you come from a gospel background, a conservatory background, and like,
What you gonna say? What were you gonna say?
Okay. Well, I mean, like, your Jamaican background is very close to Ghanaian background. I always have this joke where I say, Jamaicans come from Ghana because, the guy got lost, but he was with a Nigerian wife, which is why, like, Jamaicans are chill, but they got the and so it's like, with that being said, it's like, when did you start writing songs, and how were your first songs that you were writing? Like, especially coming from a gospel and musical background, like, what was your first songs? Like, how did you start writing songs? Like, what was your inspiration and all that stuff?
I was actually telling a few people the other day that I can't remember a day I wasn't trying to create something. I remember being 5 years old and walking past a cat. And I was like, I'm going to write a song about this cat, right? I won't sing you guys a song. I ain't singing that song today. I ain't singing it today. I was walking down the road. Okay, I'm not going to go.
You're almost there. And the worst thing was I was right there too. Like,
you're like. So yeah, I've constantly, I was in a very musical family, and I was very close to my cousins as well. And so we actually had a childhood group called Youth in Effect.
Oh, no way.
Oh yeah. And we all had our like nicknames and stuff, and we used to do all these basement performances and practices, and then we'd go up where all the adults are chilling out playing dominoes, having some fun times, and we'd be like, break, it's time for the show, and there'd be like 5 of us in our like family band singing. So again, I've been writing for a long time.
That's awesome.
I guess my first serious song came from when I got my first piano. I was 11 years old.
Okay.
And I got my first upright piano, and I sat on the piano and I played and played and played. And my parents, I got accustomed to me getting up in the middle of the night, half dreaming a song, and I had one of those tape recorders where you have to press play and record. I'm dating myself now when I say that, right? Old school. The Maxwell tape.
What's a tape? What's a DVD?
And I'd press play and record, and then I would get up and I'd play, tinker around a melody line, and then I'd go back to sleep.
Yeah.
And so, I've just been kind of writing since, just constantly. Yeah.
I really like the whole thing about, you having your rehearsals and coming up. I don't know anything about dominoes. Africans aren't like that. But, coming up to the dominoes game, I can only imagine where they're sitting there slamming dominoes and stuff like that. And then you're like, I have a performance. That's really awesome. So when did you decide that you're like, you know what? I think I can do this professionally?
I was probably 11. As soon as I got my keyboard, my piano.
Oh, you're like, damn, I'm this good.
Yeah, I was just I'm gonna do this. Again, I was still not really singing the greatest back then, so my parents would be like, yes, you'll be a famous pianist.
Wink.
That's about it, but stop singing.
Yeah. Awesome. So do you have one show where you were where you actually were okay, this is what I have to do,
Yeah. Yeah, it was actually a wedding. My first professional show was my teacher. I think I was 15 or 16 years old, and she said, "I need you to write a song for me for my wedding." And she goes, "You'll be compensated, blah, blah, blah. I want to walk down the aisle to your voice. You write me a song." And my parents said I was so involved in making this song so perfect for my teacher. And I sang it, and she goes, "Well, how much do I owe you? Did you invoice me?" All of these things that she was kind of teaching me what to do. And by word of mouth, that's how my first Dave Archer, kind of my Diane Archer business started, I was a wedding singer, and I played songs for the main event, the bride walking down the aisle, and it was crazy. I was doing 10, 15 weddings a summer by the time I was 19.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah. So it all started then. Yeah.
How much did you charge her?
I was $50, and she gave me, and then right, but then she gave me $250. So the next wedding I was $1,000.
pay me right now. I was like, I'm surprised that you're like $50.
I need to get
I know it'd be like 1,000.
Well, hold on. You know the D now. You don't know the D back then.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. So like we know that professionalism is obviously very important to you. So like we both know that can mean like so many different things in the music industry. You know, like the industry that we're in is very, let's say, I don't want to say it's not shady. Let's say gray. As in, like, you don't really know what you're supposed to do in certain situations. Sometimes people want to party. Sometimes you have to sit down at a meeting and all that. So is that something, like, you learned before, like, straight up early? Or is it something that you feel like you continue to keep learning?
I definitely continue to keep learning, because every situation is different. I mean, I've been on, multiple tours across the world. And what I found was... just because of my personality, I was able to really, engage with people and like strangers and I had an element of professionalism with like meeting and communicating with people, right? To the musicians out there that want to travel and start going international and stuff, it's really hard if you don't have like a kind of a plan for yourself, how you want to represent yourself, because people can easily get lost when they get out there, because I mean there's booze everywhere, and like there's schmooze parties everywhere to get to know people.
Did you say schmooze parties?
Schmoozing.
Smooth.
What do you say? Did I not say it right?
What kind of party?
Schmooze or smooge?
Smoosh.
One means something different. That's all I know.
Yeah. We're talking about the PG one, right?
Okay, we're talking about the bougie ones, right?
Bougie ones or PG ones?
The PG ones.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Good for the families, for the gospel, for the church.
When you go there to meet people and mingle, let's just say that, and you can get lost in that, and then really embarrass yourself if you drink too much, and or if you don't know really necessarily how to represent yourself, how to talk about yourself.
100%.
Yeah, right. Like a lot of people. When you're asked questions, like again in this interview, right? Some people might be like, "Holy crap! How am I going to talk about myself without feeling weird?" Yeah. I don't have that problem.
No, you don't. But also, it's like when you say that, it's something I do get, because let's say with musicians and artists, right? The one thing I do say is that the hardest thing about being an artist, and especially like yourself, where you're writing your songs and you're putting yourself out there, is that you're putting, let's say, a piece of your soul out there. 100%. And when somebody judges that and they tell you, "Oh, that sucks," it's like they're telling you your soul sucks. So to be able to be like true to yourself, and not only be true to your brand and true to your own personal soul, but also be able to schmooze, not smoosh. Snooze.
Yes,
everybody. Yeah.
Schmooze. I know. Yeah. I'm gonna not use that word anymore if I don't say it right.
I'm gonna fucking pick up on that. It's like with all that, it's like, what challenges did you face or coming up, and navigating the intricacy of the music industry? Like keeping true to yourself while touring the world, while meeting everybody, and as you know, people dog you, people bring you up. You don't know who's like straight on the straight and narrow or whatever. So how did you what kind of challenges did you face like navigating that industry?
I really found that because I like to engage many people and just really get to know them and just really open up and just say, this is myself, this is who I am. A lot of men in the industry found that friendly. They would take that as me being friendly, not PG.
Yeah.
And so being a woman, especially traveling alone, in the industry, that I had to kind of ruffle my feathers and kind of puff out my chest too, to be like, I'm confident that I'm speaking to you about my business and not my body.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Right, women?
Give a round of applause for that.
Yeah.
Being a strong woman is something that's very hard in our industry, for sure. Right. Like, definitely.
Because again, it's I'm going to say this, and I say this fully, very truly, just being from my experience, it is still a very male-dominated industry.
Definitely.
And so, as a female, as a black female who owns her own business, who's going out there, who's representing herself, there's a lot of challenges within that whole combination of what I just said.
Exactly. So I wanted to ask next, obviously, which is a wicked segue, is how did you overcome those challenges? Like, because I know, like, you know, in our industry, a lot of artists and stuff, you know, you get really dark and down sometimes, yeah, especially male dominated. And as a black woman, like, you know, a black woman artist, it's like, I guarantee you've taken your dings, you've taken your hits. So it's like, how do you overcome that as a person, as an artist?
I definitely write about it. I write about it in songs. I write about the struggles for sure. In the moment, I do my best to squash anything that I kind of am anticipating that is about to happen that would be anything racist or anything extremely sexist. And I'm just like, okay, you know, and try to like just diverge from that as fast as I can. But as for like, you know, you going home after a tough day that you're just like, I was just selling my brand, you know, like, God, we're all here at this large festival, you know, to you know, represent our businesses. I'm not coming here to ask you for your number and tell you where my hotel is, you know. I'm like, focus. So it does get tiring. And that's why I think I do give myself a schedule where I do have to go be alone, rejuvenate, sometimes write, sometimes just play my ass off and just get all that anger out, stop and do it again. And these problems are still occurring because you said, how did you overcome them? Yeah. It's still happening.
Of course.
It still happens to
I like that you said that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I see as like an artist too. It's like people expect you to be out, be happy and all that. And it's like, you want to see me out all the time and you want me to be happy all the time. It's like, it doesn't really work that way. No. So the fact that you're saying that you set aside alone time and time to, you know, gather your thoughts and like, you know, write about your challenges and all of that. It's like, that's, I don't want to say like, maybe I could say it. That's your own therapy to get back out into the world and overcome those challenges the next time they pop up because they don't stop.
Right. And I would just say, like, to encourage people that are still really trying to like break that threshold in the industry, especially if you're a woman, is just to hold your head up high and keep just pushing through. It really is it's a big journey. It's a big journey. It's a hard journey. It's a struggle. But if you are meant to be there, you're gonna be there. And and just keep fighting and enjoy the ride too, because sometimes I look back at certain situations and I went, why didn't I just let it go and then, you know, and just keep moving on and you know, keep expressing myself with different people. Yeah, right? Yeah, the Jamaican in me came out. I was like,
fuck you. No, but I had to put that in. Yeah. But like, yo, you gotta keep coming. I was like, as like, you know, I don't know how long I've been working with you for. Like, I think I met you 10 years ago, maybe. Maybe
something
like that.
10 years, yeah.
But like, definitely, like, we weren't the best of friends. Let's say coming up.
Yeah, you really didn't like me for no reason, by the way.
I'm a weird person. Like, I'm an artist, so like, I have a lot of emotions and stuff. And D was being D, and so like, you know, she was the person I looked up to. Everyone was like, you gotta hear D, you gotta hear D. So like, but D always came out to my shows and stuff like that, and I always gave her props for that. And like, when I got to know D, other than like, you know, when we're out as artists, it's like, that's when I was like, all right, like, this girl's awesome. Like,
yeah, and people have to understand too, like, when you're out and you're working and this is work, right?
It's work.
Or when you're out and you're representing your business and you're representing the artist, you know, it's different than chilling at home, eating popcorn, watching Simpsons and chilling with your buds. Exactly. You know, it's definitely different.
I really like that. So I had a question I was going to ask you, but I'm going to move on. So you have various projects, like you have D Archer and you have Saturday Jones and stuff like that. So obviously with you saying overcoming the differences or your challenges and stuff like that, why did you feel the need to separate the two from D Archer Music to Saturday Jones?
When I had the opportunity to move out of Canada, that was 2014, it was something inside of me, like whatever I was writing once I got over to Europe did not sound like D. Archer,
Yeah.
right? And I'm going, who is this new character? What am I writing? Like, what is all this? And it was very expressive, and I think that definitely came with the fact that I was moving so far away for the first time ever from my family. So there was a lot of grief, there was a lot of fear, but there was a lot of excitement and anticipation because I was doing something completely new. So I went, this is a new character. This isn't D. So brainstorming, and I came home for Christmas that same year, and I was having some drinks with a friend, and they're like, oh, the songs that you're singing sound like it's like, imagine a girl in a smoky room, there's cigars, she's drinking a scotch, and she's singing on the piano with the cigar and the scotch at the same time because she badass. And I was like, Saturday Jones. And everybody was going, ooh. Yeah, so Saturday Jones was born.
Can I ask you if you were that person smoking and drinking that scotch, or is that like, yeah, that was. Yeah, okay. All right,
I was the person smoking that cigar and drinking that scotch.
Smoking, drinking that scotch, and like, you're Saturday Jones, you're like, I know. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
So like, obviously with Saturday Jones, there's a lot of different like experimentation, like you're using a lot of effects. You're kind of like, from the D. Archer music that I know, because I know it. It's like, but the Archer music, I know to that. It's like, obviously you're pushing your boundaries and you're expanding on what you're doing. So like, what drew you to get into those effects and like, start manipulating your voice a little bit more and your, the way you're playing and stuff like that? Like, was it you going to Europe and like hearing other artists, or was it like, you following a guy called Bilay? Like, who knows? Like, what happened?
Well, one of my biggest influences is Bilay Badoe, by the way. I just want to let everyone know that.
I make things happen.
And I thought to myself, if he can do that with his guitar, I can just get effects on my mouth and do guitar mouth solos. I don't know. No, I'm kidding. No, really, as just growing up, I was always drawn to music that was slightly different than the mainstream, even rock, the mainstream pop, the mainstream, like anything that just sounded like polyrhythmic or had more effects.
Dare to be different.
Yeah. And it kind of dawned on me when I was in Europe, and I was like, well, I was also heavily listening to like Imogen Heap and a couple of other artists that were definitely doing something different, and I thought, that's exactly what Saturday Jones is, because people want to know, they want to know who she is, but she's constantly masked. But how can I mask her? With all of these effects and experiments and really cool things. And like Saturday Jones's name went far over there.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I heard about it for sure. Definitely. And then I know you can't really talk about it that much, but also you sing and you rap?
Yeah. This is new. This is really new. And this is not Saturday Jones, actually. I'm not saying that. Don't worry. There's not going to be a third character coming. Don't worry about that. So many personalities. No, this is kind of like a new spin-off of just D. Archer doing something different. And I was asked to do a couple of 8 bars in a couple of my brother Chris is a producer worldwide. Industries, what's up? Worldwide. Chris, I got you, bruh. Anyway, so I went on the microphone and I started rapping with him, and then it just went on from there to I'm working with a good friend of mine, Maddie, of Pear Tree Studios.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're working with a couple of artists where I've done a couple of features on rapping, and I've actually have 2 songs coming out in the spring where I'm straight up rapping, right?
It's getting hardcore.
I'm getting hardcore, so.
Mic drops and all. I love it.
I know a lot of you are like, really, D? I don't know if I'm really convinced of that yet. Trust me, wait till spring 2021. You will be hearing some badass-ish.
I'm not going to lie. I heard the leak. Thank you, D. And like, D can rap. Like, D can rap. I didn't think there was anything else you could do or not do, but like, yo, you can rap.
Thank you. That makes me feel good.
I have been on stage with you rapping. There goes Nick Weaver, and it was his Gain Festival, actually.
Oh, yeah, I did rap at Gain Festival. Yeah. Oh, there is a video somewhere of me rapping as Saturday Jones.
I know where the video is, and it kind of sucks because it's like I never knew about, since I don't sing, I just play guitar, but I didn't know about like, dry mouth or cotton mouth or whatever.
You rapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got on stage with you guys, and my mouth is like, and I'm like, yo, this is a problem. I can already barely talk and pronunciate. Anyways, everybody knows I mumble, let alone that you put that and you want me to talk fast? It's a problem. But, you know, G coached me too. It's like she literally looked at me and I saw her with her eyes, and then she looked at me with my wide eyes like panic attack type of deal. But you know I have to keep it cool. So, yeah, she's like, she rubbed me on my back. She's like, don't worry, you'll get through this. I don't know if I got through it.
You blacked out. You blacked out, but it was awesome. Yeah, he literally did not remember his rap, and he's like, "Did I do all right?" And I was like, "It was killer."
Yeah, I just freestyled the whole thing. Like, whatever. I think I got a verse in, then I thought about my comment out, then I just started freestyling. But it worked out because good vibes are good vibes, and that's what it's about, right?
True.
So to go back to your Saturday Jones and D Archer, like obviously, like I don't know if you can answer this, but is there one that you prefer working on more? Is there one that's like easier, or more that's like in a different mindset, or like is there what?
I don't think it necessarily which I prefer more. It's more so what I was concentrating on, you know, at the time. So D Archer, like I played a couple of songs that actually came out in like 2015 because that was probably the last I was writing for Dave Archer. Yeah. And I took like almost 5 years and was writing as Saturday Jones. So that kind of took the limelight of things. But I wouldn't say I prefer one or the other because I'm coming back to Dave Archer stuff right now. And I miss Saturday Jones. So once in a while I'm like, I got to try to write. I got to try to get into my Saturday Jones mind and do it. But both personas, or so both personalities, like are I guess equivalent. Just one is the one is what people want to be with when they want to party and let loose. Yeah. Saturday Jones really doesn't care about anything. She just wants to spread that energy, all the feels, and say whatever she wants to say. Do whatever she wants to do. And Dave Archer's a little bit more reserved. You would hire Dave Archer for a wedding, right?
Yeah.
Not Saturday Jones.
Saturday Jones is just the person who wants to wild out all the time.
Yeah, right? Wilding out all the time.
So then is Saturday Jones like D Archer, but like D Archer is like the reserved D Archer?
That's like an Inception question here.
I just liked your look on that.
We are one. Okay, let's just say that.
It's something I understand. Trust me.
Yeah.
As I'm sitting here in my pretty sweater, talking all reserved like.
The mention of the sweater.
Gotta mention the sweater. Props to winners. Best $15 I've ever spent. So when you're writing songs and stuff, is like, do you have a process, like, or do you just like, is it something that just comes to you, or is it something like you actually like, okay, I'm gonna go write music, and you sit down at the piano and write music, or is like, what's the process behind it?
Well, I was saying earlier, I touched a little bit of a base earlier about as a younger kid, waking up from a dream with a tune in my head, pressing play and record. That has never left. So, the tape recorder has though. So, I sleep with my phone right beside my bed, and I will press that voice note. Yeah. And I will sing something into it, half, and then that's it. Or if I'm driving, hands-free, click that record button and sing the melody line. Sometimes I'm sitting at the piano and all of a sudden something just comes to me. So it's really a random pool.
Okay. So as I touch on that, it's like, I got to give props to 50% of my DNA. This is Kwame Badoe.
Yeah. Kwame.
Props Kwame. It's like we have both worked with Kwame. He does sleep tapes and relaxation tapes. He has a tape on grief. And I know that since you have worked with him and I have worked with him, that he gives you those voice notes. It's like,
yes, he does.
To us, the voice notes make sense.
Yes.
Sorry, Kwame, I gotta call you out on this one. So it's like, how, if you don't mind, what are your voice notes like? Can you give us a little sample?
Okay. Well, I was driving the car yesterday. I'm not going to get my phone out, but I'm just going to give you like the lowdown, the rewind of how it happened. Yeah. I'm driving and I'm like, oh, this sounds good in my head. And so I was just doing shift the gear up, right? And then I hit save when I knew I was just losing it, right? But I just like could imagine like the person rolling up to me and like the red light beside me being like, what is she doing?
What the hell? But what's really funny? As like musician talk, it's something that I feel like, the musicians in the room and me, I definitely get. Because mine are like, bam, 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 bam. And then like all of a obviously, you know, like if you're at band practice and stuff, you're like, okay, we're gonna go to this part. They're like, what part? And you're like, the part that goes like bam, 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 and they're like, yeah, okay, I get that.
And some of those inflections, like when I'm changing, like that bass line was first, but when I went similar, that was the guitar, right? So these are the notes I'm talking about. Like it's that specific in my voice notes, so I know exactly what I'm gonna ask the guitarist to do.
And it's really weird that it works that way, and that when you're saying it in practice, it actually translates, because it shouldn't translate. The only reason I gotta call it Kwame on it because his doesn't translate because he's old, and so he's like boop-a-doop-a-boop-a-doop-a-doop. I'm like, well, where's that? You know what I'm saying? So that's really cool. So, D, COVID happened, everything happened.
Yes.
I gotta ask, like, you know, obviously, you know, COVID's a little different and stuff happens. So, like, what's next for D Archer? Like, what are you up to, D?
Yeah, COVID happened.
Coming out with songs?
Yeah, I tried to write. It was a little depressing. I lost one of my brothers earlier this year, so it was quite tragic. And so I spent a lot. I moved back closer to family, and I just wanted to be with them. Yeah. Really spend a lot of time with them. Just decided that I was going to clear my mind, really get my body healthy, and you know, just kind of try to coast out of 2020 in a little bit more of a calm manner, and just to see where my music career was going to go. Because you know, like we, you know, musicians right now who rely on, you know, teaching. I was teaching the piano lessons and singing lessons. I was gigging all the time. You know, we don't have that, and. So
that's like a release, right? It's like your release to
I was birthing so much music, and and now I'm due February. I'm going to birth a child.
You're gonna birth a child. Yo, give it up for D Archer.
Yeah,
D Archer is
there's
singing
a little belly here.
Right
hold on. Here we go.
About to birth a child. Here we go.
There's this baby. There's a little baby here.
And truthfully, this is the official announcement, and I'm so happy that I had it. And her man's right here. I could give Rob.
Yeah.
Brian McNeil.
Here, give it up for him. Congratulations. Yeah. That's the other half right there.
He tips his hat because he know he did a job well done. Good job, buddy. Congratulations. I'm happy for both of you.
Yeah. So it's a girl. It's a girl. Little D, so when she's already has a little piano for like her first week. We're going on tour first week.
I like it. I can't even. Now my mind's just going too crazy. There's too much I can follow up with that. Definitely, but it's like, yo, D, it's like. I could talk to you forever. I'm not going to even lie. Like, obviously, we have a lot of history. And we have a lot of stuff. It's awesome.
Stahl's hurrying us again. Yeah, thanks a lot, Stahl. That's call out number 2, okay?
But like honestly, I feel like I have to say, I'm privileged to be your friend. I'm privileged to be your homie. Like, you know, you've taught me so much, and you keep me growing and pushing and stuff. So for our community and all communities to have someone like you here who, like, you know, keeps us smiling, keeps us dancing, keeps me angry. Like,
oh, yeah.
You know, please, like, give it up for D Archer for that, because...
Thank you.
1 in a million, girl. 1 in a million. Well, maybe 1.5 in a million, because I don't know how this girl's going to be, but we'll see that when the time
She'll
comes.
be good. She'll love her Uncle Bilay.
Yeah. I like it. And, actually, one thing I have to actually talk about. So, I mean, of all the things that I do see with your relaxing and stuff like that, you have somebody in your life other than Brian that always keeps you hold down and has a love for you. So can you talk to me about you know, how Uncle Tank relaxes you and stuff like that?
Uncle Tank, that is my fur baby. He is very old. He's like 100 million years old.
He's still a pup.
Yeah, he still acts like a pup. I have a fur baby at home, and he really keeps me in check. He really does. If I used to be up really late, you know, playing music and like trying to write, and I'd be getting frustrated, and his little paws, you can hear his little paws clicking and clacking, and come in and behind me, and you know he's standing behind you, and you're still at the piano, and I'm playing, and all of a sudden you hear, and I'm like, okay, old guy, like, I got this. Just give me a little bit longer. And then you hear, again. And so he really will tell me, it's done, Mom. I'm tired of hearing what I'm hearing. It's done. Let's go to bed. So he keeps me in check.
It's very interesting how, like, you know, especially with artists like a Pet, who obviously doesn't speak English or anything like that, but can really relate to you and, like, you know, takes on your characteristics, because it's like, I feel like Tank does know, like, a lot about you, but Tank also knows, like, when you're pissing everybody off, and he'll just come and, like, you know, the late nights we've had recording, he's just sitting on my lap and he's like, trust me, bro, I know.
I know. He really does do that with Bilay. He'll be like, man, I get it. Just relax. Pet me. You'll be calm.
Yeah.
You'll be calm.
I pet him. I'm feeling terrible food. It's awesome. Yeah, it's still there. He's got his pizza. All right, D. Yo, thank you so much. Like,
Thank you for having me.
I couldn't be any happier.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do? Everybody can get their smokes, get one more drink or so. We got 45 minutes till the last call, and we're gonna take a little break.
You guys want to hear a couple more songs before? All right, we're gonna take a short break.
Do you play some more songs?
Yeah, I'll play you. Let me play you one more song.
I love it.
One more song before we take that break.
No. You're gonna play like 4 more songs. Get the fuck out of here.
One more song. I got you.
Yeah. So all right, one more song. Yeah, we're gonna take a break, and then Dean's gonna play a song.
Okay.
The last thing I have to do is shout out our sponsors, who is awesome. Sound Events is a company that I've worked with and for a long amount of time, and they're the ones who actually provided all this gear when I came up with my stupid idea, business partners and everything like that. So props to Sound Events for putting this all on and making us relevant in Guelph, Ontario. So yeah, go get your smokes, go get your drinks. We'll be back in 10-15 minutes.
Thank you.
A lot, eh?
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.